If you've clicked on this video, then you're probably about to increase your chances of getting a job offer after graduation. No, sorry, I don't have a crystal ball. I just mean that statistically speaking, college students who've had internship experience are more likely to get hired when they graduate. The fact that you're searching for an internship means you're proactive, and adding it on your resume is sure to make you a stronger candidate. But internship spots have become more competitive over the last couple of years. So how do you make sure that you're one of the lucky few? That's where I can help. I'm Anna, a professional career writer here at Resume.io, and I'm in the office because today I'm going to walk you through each step of writing a resume that highlights your potential and motivation. Just what you need to land that internship. Let's get started. Before we can get to the writing, we need to figure out what our resume is actually going to look like. A good layout can really work in your favor by telling the hiring manager that you're organized and professional all before they ever read a word on the page. Think about where you want to intern. A law office would prefer a clear, simple template, while a graphic design agency might like something with a little more color. I like this minimalist design because it could work for many different fields. So now that we have this blank sheet of possibilities in front of us, let's start with the easy stuff. This header space contains your name, your email, your phone number, stuff that we all know by heart, but you'd be surprised how many people make a typo here that can cost them the job. And while we're on the subject of elimination, make sure your email address is professional. Just because you're an intern doesn't mean the hiring manager will give you a free pass. Now that the header looks great, we can talk about the summary, which is also sometimes called a profile or personal statement. This section is basically a really short story about what you're like as a professional. Research the key qualities needed for this role. The job description is like your cheat sheet. Once you know what they're looking for, lean into the places where your experience crosses over with their needs. Finally, let's throw in some personality while we're at it. Use positive and descriptive language and verbs to build a clear picture. Now we get the sense that this intern would take the time to learn about the company's needs and understand how they can fit into the team. So we've just finished the summary, but if you're still not sure where to start, you can find the example I'm building today at the link below. All my sentences are there, so you can modify them for your own experience. Speaking of which, let's look at the employment history section. This is where you're going to add any relevant experience you have so far. In fact, let's just rename this to previous experience. There, now you've got free rein. But remember to keep it concise. You don't need to list every odd job you've ever done. I'm going to enter a summer job to start out with. So I add the title, employer, start and end dates, and location. Those are the basics. This description section is a great place to list your responsibilities and accomplishments in this role. These might be quite simple points at this stage in your journey, but that's totally fine. Let's add the second entry. This time I'm going to talk about a personal project to show you how you can do the same. Instead of an employer, I'll just add the name of the project. In this description, I've added some success metrics. Careful not to exaggerate. Nothing turns your beautifully crafted resume into scrap paper faster than a bunch of over-the-top stories that HR can call out within moments. A strong, simple description will do. Finally, keep your sections in reverse chronological order. Your most recent position should be at the top. Even if you don't have much previous experience, if you're applying for an internship, you can always lean into that education section. Your college degree is great preparation for internships. School, degree, dates, and location. Once again, that description is perfect to talk about any transferable skills that you might want to highlight. If you haven't completed your degree yet, then don't overlook your high school diploma. Now we're at the skills section. The best strategy with this section is to create a master list of all the skills you have. Make sure you can back them up with examples though. Now, depending on the language used in the job, pick and choose the most relevant ones for this role and add them to your resume. I'm going to add a couple here. These ones are what we call soft skills. What that means is they're non-technical skills that are more about the way you carry out the job. So let me balance that out with the hard skills or technical ones. It really comes down to doing your research on the company and the position to give yourself the best chance of communicating how you line up with what they're looking for. And that's it. You've just created a resume with all the key information that shows why you're the right fit for the job. But before you go, let me give you my top 5 tips to keep your resume extra sharp. Number 1, get to the point. Unless you've got decades of experience under your belt, it's best to keep your resume to just 1 page, at least when applying in the US or Canada. If you're overflowing with things to say, just adapt your resume for the specific situation by taking off certain bullet points when they're not relevant, for example. Number 2, spell check. I cannot stress this enough. Whether it's built into the resume builder or you have your grammar snob friend proofread it right before the deadline, please make sure there are no typos or other mistakes before you submit. And number 3, formatting counts. Make sure to balance the amount of white space and text so that the page is easy to read. And remember, a great looking resume will capture the hiring manager's attention and tell them you're serious about the position. Look for a template with a header that matches the tone of the company. And number 4, get specific. The job description is your personal cheat sheet. Look for duties and skills that are important to the employer and put them on your resume while being completely honest about your experience. And number 5, save it right. If you're emailing or printing, a PDF is the way to go because the formatting won't change between computers. But if you need to upload your resume to an online application, make sure to check if the employer prefers a Word doc. And that's all there is to it. You've got everything you need to write that job-winning resume. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for even more videos on making your application the best it can be. Now it's time to go out there and get that job.